John, one of the big problems we have today is with memory because, when you're learning a foreign language, you could go live in that country and the language will, rape you. It will violate you. It will enter you like a chickpea in a glass of water. The water will enter it. The garbanzo or the chickpea doesn't have to do a thing. The way you learned Spanish and I learned English, I also learned Spanish and Hebrew the same way by living in Israel and by living in Spain. I've never really had to study and memorize words and memorize the grammar. But if you're learning a foreign language in your own country, you're probably doing it 2 or 3 hours a week. You need methodology. One of the problems we see today with a lot of adults and a lot of children, simply put, is that they don't remember. I'm going to put my phone down if you don't mind. They don't remember how to memorize. We have applications in our phone that memorize the phone numbers of our friends, birthdays and bar mitzvahs and weddings and saints and everything. Children today do not remember how to memorize. We've given up that ability. I mean, a dog has to remember where everything is, and a caveman had to remember. And it's a fact that today people do not have the ability to remember things anymore because we outsource our memory to the applications in our phones, to a note on a refrigerator. I don't even know my wife's phone number, okay? I know her birthday, in case she's listening, okay? But if you're teaching a language to someone, a foreign language, and you're in their country, take that into account that the person who's studying with you, 90% of learning your language is memorizing it. They can't just talk English with you 3 hours a week and they're going to learn English. The 3 is not enough. Not even 10 is enough. Living in the country is one way, but 3, it's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. You really have to have methodology to force them to memorize. And basically that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be memorizing words and sentences and grammar and tenses, but it's all a lot of memorizing. So you're really in an uphill battle because you're forcing them to memorize an entire language at the same time while they have all these applications in their lives that allow them not to memorize anymore. So, 20 years ago, teaching English to an adult of 35 or a kid of 15 was a piece of cake, really, because people knew how to memorize. But today, people go home and they just can't memorize. You give them 20 verbs that are irregular, like play is played in past tense, but that's regular. But speak is spoke, that's irregular. A week later, they still haven't got it. So games have been invented to overcome this stupidity, such as flashcards. Flashcards help people memorize things in a fun way. One of the best applications I know is Quizlet. Another one is called Polka. With my son, for example, he needed to memorize the periodic table, mathematical charts, the constellations of stars. Well, we made flashcards. We created hundreds and hundreds of flashcards. And we learned that that's a way to make memorizing fun. While at the same time, he has applications that make memorizing not necessary, and therefore memorizing becomes not fun. So we succeeded by understanding to learn a language when you're not living in that country is all memorization. 90% of it's memorization. The other 10% is to have a fluid conversation. But to get there, you got to do a lot of memorizing. And we need to understand that in the world we live in today, memorizing is the last thing people want to do. So you need to create a game or a way to make memorizing fun. And we've done it in inglesgarantizado. We use flashcards. We use memorization games. We make memorizing fun. We don't just tell people, go home and do it or die. We tell them, go. We have flashcards in the class that we move around. We have them in our computer. We don't really use flashcards. We have computer cards that exist in the tablet, the phone, and in the PC. And anyway, we have a really clear idea of what the problem is today. We're very successful because we don't make life difficult. We accept the fact that today no one knows how to memorize anymore. We've given up doing it thanks to exporting our memory or outsourcing our memory to applications, calendar events and things. We take that into account and we create another application that helps people memorize. Fight fire with fire. It works every time. You know what I mean? Now I've got to go somewhere, but I don't really know where I got to go. I got to check my calendar. Talk to you later.